Hello and welcome. My name is Philipp, I'm 26 years old, and today I want to take you off to a journey. Imagine the following situation. It's a day of a horse race, which is kind of a public holiday anyway. You're walking down the AC/DC lane, doing the city shuffle, walking past a lane of vandalism, which is considered a street art in the city. And while you wait for your hairdresser, you just get a free beer with it. Sounds a bit crazy? You're right, I have to give you that. But it's not crazy, it could be just a normal day in this city called Melbourne, Australia. First of all, I'm going to give you some useful advices, some good facts to know about Melbourne, something for your brain. Second of all, I want to take you onto a sightseeing tour, something for your eyes. And lastly, I want to give you something for your soul, why Melbourne is the most livable city in the world. Melbourne is the capital of an area called Victoria in southern Australia. It's the home of 4 million inhabitants, and I was not joking about that. They have a public holiday for a horse race called the Melbourne Cup. Everybody's off then, the banks are closed, so nobody's working, and the inhabitants are just going there, getting drunk and dressed funny. Something about the corporation lane didn't sound quite right. So the government decided, why don't we name it AC/DC lane? So they contributed to the musical scene in Melbourne, which is kind of a creative approach in my opinion. Speaking of music, we've got the Melbourne Shuffle, which is kind of an awkward, weird dance move. We can try to do it, but no. But what I can do is show you a video. To be honest, I have no idea what he's doing. But to support the musical approach in the city, they invented their own dance move called the Melbourne Shuffle. The next thing, to attract more male customers, on the beach area called St Kilda, the hairdressers provided free beer, which is so successful that now they still have implemented it and everybody drinks beer during the haircut in this area. The Melbourne street art scene is one of the biggest scenes in the world. Even the full-known street artist called Banksy, the UK street artist, is going there once a year and contributing a lot of work. It's one of the biggest street art scenes in the world, and the government gave this scene a couple of streets where they can spray graffiti legally. Monday is the new Saturday, so Melbourne wants to support the active lifestyle at the beginning of the week. So what they do is having a half-price commitment for every restaurant, cinema, so they support the active lifestyle and you don't sit at home on Monday. The culture is very, very important for Melbourne, so they have the Melbourne Festival, which is a cultural festival. You can see it here on Federation Square, which is in the Central Building District. You can see the Central Building District in the back over here. Every culture has a couple of minutes to introduce themselves and to show what is important about their culture. Even the Flinders Street station, which is the main tram and train station in the middle of the Central Building District, is covered in light at night, which I think is a very creative approach. Let me give you something for your eyes now. Can I introduce the Eureka Sky Deck? 88 stories high, 285 meters in total, which is the highest building in Melbourne and the second highest building in the Southern Hemisphere. It's the second highest pedestrian building in the whole world, so people actually live there. They have a glass-shaped box, where you can go outside and have an unbelievable view over Melbourne. There's a picture a friend of mine took when we went there, and it was at night, unbelievable view. Melbourne is the unofficial sporting city in Australia. This is the Flemington Stadium, which can fit 100,000 people in there. Just to show you a relation, the hometown where I'm from has 100,000 inhabitants, so my whole hometown could fit in the stadium. That's also the stadium where the Australian Open in tennis are taking place. In the Central Building District, we've got the Federation Square, and you can see here the Flinders Street station. The Federation Square is the home of the Museum of the Centre of Moving Image, which is where you can see the history of the the movies and the development of the movies from Australia that were made in Australia, which is for free, by the way, which I think is a very, very creative approach. And at night, everything looks good, everything is lighted up, very creative. If you want to shop, you can go to the Queen Victoria Market and you can buy everything there, except from animals, never ask for animals there. You can buy food, clothing from the local farmers or from fashion trademarks, and as you can see here, it's a huge, huge market and the biggest market in Melbourne. Coming to the next part, that's the beach part, called St Kilda, which is kind of the backpacker approach. Everybody goes there, that's kind of a hippie culture and has a bohemian flair, and which is also the home of the Luna Park, full-year fairground and playground. If you want to go a bit out of the city, you have the most famous coastal drive called Great Ocean Road. The main attraction over there, which is actually the second most photographed, the first one is the Uluru, the Ayers Rock in the middle of Australia. And you've got the 12 Apostles over there, which are limestone wrecks. And they broke away from the mainland, so the Tectonian movement pushes back the mainland 2 centimeters a year, and they were the solid parts, broke away, and now they are standing there in the middle of the ocean. This is the London Bridge, which is exactly the same approach. It broke away from the mainland, standing there now. Beautiful. Another thing, look at these tiny guys. It's Philipp Island, which is a very creative name by the way as well. These guys come back to their nest every day, so you can see a little penguin parade. And of course, they make a bit of an effort, dress up good. Look at this guy, enjoying his little sweater. Or dressing up for Christmas, I swear they do that by themselves. So, let me tell you something for your soul. Melbourne is the most livable city in the world. 3 years in a row now. They checked the medium-sized cities around the world, which is 140 cities take part in that, and Melbourne is with 97.5 out of 100 points the best city since 3 years. They are checking this one on stability, healthcare, culture, environment, education, and infrastructure. To be honest, Melbourne is a bit different from big cities like New York, London, Tokyo. Here we see New York. New York has a big problem with traffic. Tokyo has a big problem with too many people in one place. So it's basically, they are victims of their own success. They attracted plenty of people, but it goes along with, they have more crime, they have problems with spaces. So Melbourne is a very good example of how a city should be planned and how a city should be run. It has good climate, good public facilities, and good schools and hospitals. It's basically just about which city gives you the least challenge of everything. So finally, we can see that Melbourne is very creative and open-minded and has a lot of useful and interesting stories to tell. There are multiple reasons why Melbourne is the most livable city on Earth 3 years in a row. It's not just the sightseeing, cultural side or natural side, it's also the creativity the city is run with. So hopefully soon we can say, welcome to Melbourne, where everything is done with passion, style and a lot of creativity. Thank you very much.